So I saw a video today, Daniel Sonnen and Chael Cormier on Good Guy, Bad Guy, and they were talking about Conor McGregor's return. And Chael Sonnen said something that really made me think. He said that if Conor McGregor were to return, there's not a fighter on the roster that he could beat.
There is not an athlete under contract that he can beat.
When I heard that, I was like, yeah, that sounds about right. Because every time I see him, he's high, he's puffy, his head is puffy, he's drunk, he's not training, he's not in shape, and he's talking about something completely different than the octagon. But then I'm like, no, that can't be true. That can't be true. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to look at who could Conor McGregor actually beat. S tier means that he could actually beat them in a return fight. F tier means this is probably a public execution and it's going to be very bad and very embarrassing. Okay, so we're going to start with obviously Michael Chandler, right? So Michael Chandler, I feel like it would have actually been a good fight. Back when Conor was still kind of in shape, it would have actually been a good fight. Michael Chandler is wild enough and stupid enough, honestly stupid enough, to fight reckless enough for Conor McGregor to like land a kick or land a nice punch or something. They say the power is the last thing that goes. Maybe he'll leave his chin out there like he has the last 5 freaking fights. Maybe Conor McGregor sneaks him. I think this would be a good fight still. Next fight that makes the most sense is a Dustin Poirier rematch. Now, I'm trying to remember how many times they fought. It would be a 4th time that they fought. Okay, so this would be like Figgy versus Moreno type deal. Okay, we're getting into Transformers territory. We're getting into Fast and Furious territory with him fighting Dustin Poirier. But every time he fights Dustin Poirier, it gets worse and worse for him. So we're going to put Dustin Poirier down here. I think Poirier is close to his prime right now, even though he's aging. He's close to his prime and just coming down the mountaintop of his prime. I'm not saying he's in his prime. I'm saying he's coming down the mountain. Just walking down the mountaintop. You know, when you're hiking and you see people and you're like, hey, how is it up there? Oh, the view's nice. I just lost to Islam Makhachev. That's how he is right now. And Conor McGregor's nowhere near his prime. He's nowhere near a gym, a mitt. So, yeah, I think this would be bad. I think he knocks Conor McGregor out and finishes him for the 3rd time. Pause. Now, here's a really good fight that I am upset never happened. This is all Conor's fault. All these fights could have happened. It's all Conor's fault, though. I think Conor could have beat Nate Diaz, man. The Nate Diaz right now, like 2024, 2025, Nate Diaz, the one who's sticking his butt out at Jorge Masvidal in a boxing match. Yeah, that one. I think that would be an actually realistic good fight that we could see go back and forth. 2 old heads, about the same age, about the same condition. If Conor locked in, I feel like he could get into the same condition as Nate Diaz. I don't buy all this stuff. Y'all talking about Nate Diaz has the most. Dude, he's a cardio king. You see how much weed this man smoked? He is not no cardio king, okay? I think another one he could beat is his brother. If anyone's in worse shape than Nate Diaz, is Nick Diaz. 45-year-old Nick Diaz. Actually, I'm going to put him right here. Because Nick Diaz, here's the thing. Nick Diaz don't ever want to fight. Every time you see him, he's like, oh, dang it. Oh, I just wish I never, dang, man, I don't want to be here for real, man. Like, he does not want to fight. But he would probably take the Conor fight for the money. And then he'd show up fight week and be like, oh, man, I don't even really want to be here, man. Like, oh.
Are you happy in life? Is life good?
No, man, I could fight. I could fight.
So I think Conor McGregor could actually beat Nick Diaz. All right, let's go to another realistic fight. These are just going to go flow in terms of realism, okay? Next realistic fight, this would be a rematch. Oh my goodness, absolutely not. Now this one would be ridiculous. This would be like a Dragon Ball Z level beatdown, like an Invincible level beatdown. I think Max Holloway would turn Conor McGregor's face into the YouTube logo. Okay, I think it would be a nightmare situation. We saw Max Holloway break the striking record on Calvin Kattar. I think he would break the damage record, the striking record. I think he would break every record against current Conor McGregor. This would be historically one of the worst things we've ever seen in the world. Like, this would be Okay, let me continue because there's some other bad ones. Here's another bad matchup. Charles Oliveira. Why do people even put this into, why do even people consider that this could ever be a fight? They would never make this fight. Charles Oliveira could rip every single finger, he could rip every finger, both hands, both arms to the elbows, to the shoulders, then start with the toes, rip each toe off, rip each knee off, and then rip the legs off, and then choke him in either a guillotine or a rear naked choke. He could do all that in the first round against Conor McGregor. I'm not even kidding. This would be a horror film. They could do it in the Dallas Cowboys Stadium. It would be Texas Chainsaw Massacre. This would be the worst beatdown you'd ever seen in your life. Charles Oliveira would end Conor McGregor. Next, as if it could get worse, Islam Makhachev would come with the fury of 1,000 Dagestanis. Okay, he would literally, it would be like Madara Uchiha fighting in the Chunin exams. Okay, or whatever they're called, the kid exams. Islam Makhachev, but I feel like he's classy. You know, he would do it very classy. Max Holloway would make it messy. Charles Oliveira would make it embarrassing. Islam, you know, he'd be a classy guy. Just take down, choke out. Okay, brother, please stop giving me bad fight. Please, brother, I want to fight welterweight. I need good opponent, please. I am tired of fighting featherweights and people who drink beer. I want real fight.
No, you moron.
Okay, let's get to the next fighter on the list. Let me order these in terms of severity. So, most severe. There we go. Now, here's another very severe one. I think I'd put it Kamaru Usman. Right? He's going to act like he don't know who Kamaru Usman is. Kamaru Usman's another one who could rip his limbs off his body. If Kamaru and Conor McGregor fought, he would literally turn him. You ever seen like the Hulk and Thanos in the beginning of Infinity War? That would be the Kamaru Usman. I don't care if his knees are busted up. I don't care if he comes in there with no knees, bro. I don't care if he fights on his knees. Kamaru Usman would ragdoll Conor McGregor. It would be the best day of Kamaru Usman's life and the worst day of Conor McGregor's life. If you really watch these fighters, because I know I have some friends, they only watch UFC when Conor McGregor's fighting. If you watch any of these fighters, you know this is true. What I'm saying, this is not exaggeration. This is not exaggeration. Conor McGregor's pinky toe would be on the floor. It would be separate from his body if Charles Oliveira fought him. Both Achilles tendons would be snapped in half if Charles Oliveira fought him. Let's get to another one. Now, here's someone who would knock the Guinness off of his mouth. It would be Joaquin Buckley. Now, I'm going to put him down here. Joaquin Buckley's been on a tear lately. He called out Conor McGregor. I thought it was actually a good call out back when it happened because he wasn't really ranked that high in the welterweight division. But now we see that his level is actually, he's like championship level fighter. And I think it would look similar to what he did to Colby Covington. And sadly, I think Colby Covington's in better shape than Conor McGregor is right now. So yeah, this would be a generational beatdown, or as Buckley says, ancestral beatdown. Now, here's another one that, hey, Conor McGregor said his name, right? He said
Ilia Arturo, Top Toro.
Now, I think Ilia Toptoro would knock Conor McGregor the heck out. I just don't think it would be as bad a beatdown as these other guys, which is ironic because he knocked Max Holloway the heck out. I think just because of size. I know Ilia Arturo, he's always talking about how big he is, yada, yada. We all do. You know, we're all talking about how big we are. But just because he has a microphone and a camera in front of him, when he says how big he is, the whole world gets to see him, right? Guys, I'm literally Ngannou from the waist down. Flying squirrel, I could be flying elephant, honestly. But see, no one cares about that. Ilia Topturo says it. Everyone cares. Everyone hears it. Yeah, I think technically, this guy is just so technically sound. He's whooping Conor McGregor. He's knocking him out. He would be the smaller fighter. It would be actually a very good fight. But yeah, he's bouncing his head off the canvas very badly. Another featherweight. Let's pull another featherweight out here. Volkanovski. Now, here's another one. Conor McGregor had this man's name in his mouth. I don't know why he's calling these people out.
Thoughts on Volkanovski, you know, no thoughts as well. Him too. I'd have kicked his head clean off his shoulders, and that's a fact.
I think Volk would beat him too. I don't think Volk would finish him. I think Volk would just kind of do what he did to Korean Zombie. It would just be like a 45, 50, 45, 49, 46 type fight. This would be a pretty good fight because Volk is so small. These two guys it would be a pretty good matchup. If they fought at 155 or even, 165, 170, I think these guys could make that weight. And, it would be a lot of barbecue. It'd be a lot of chicken sandwiches on cutting boards and a lot of avocado on cutting boards for Volkanovski to make 165. But I think he can make it, and I think it would be a really good fight. All three of these fights, the D-tier fights, would be really good. But I think Conor McGregor loses. All right, next. Here's another guy Conor McGregor was talking trash about, and I think Sean O'Malley, this would be a good fight. It sucks because the only way that you get a good fight out of Conor McGregor is if the dude is 50 pounds lighter than him. But I think Sean O'Malley, he's got the height and he's got the reach. He just wouldn't have the strength, but it's not like Conor McGregor's going to shoot a double leg and go full Dagestani on him. He's not. He's going to try to do his stupid karate thing or throw his titanium shin bone at him. And I think Sean O'Malley would piece him up. I think this would be more of like a 49-46, maybe 3 rounds to 2. I could see this going back and forth. Sadly, what am I talking about, guys? I'm talking about a bantamweight fighter and a welterweight fighter. And I'm saying it would go back and forth. Are you hearing what I'm saying? It's ridiculous. Now, here's another one who would do him dirty. This fight would be, they'd call it a BMF fight just because, oh, dude, Justin Gaethje, bro, like pure violence, most violent fighter. Let me put him down here. I think he would, I think Buckley would do Conor worse than Gaethje. I think Gaethje would still leave him like a fish on dry land, just flapping there, but not as badly as Buckley, just because of the strength factor. Okay. I think I just retired all. Okay, I got one more guy. Because you're probably looking at, hey, none of these guys Conor can beat. I got some S tiers, don't worry. Now, this next guy, you might not know about him. Conor didn't even know who he was.
Who the f*** is that guy?
Jeremy Stevens. See, here's the thing, too. Jeremy Stevens right now, I think would be an even match with Conor McGregor. But he might even beat Conor because he's actively fighting in BKFC, which is sad. So, you know what? I'll put Jeremy Stevens right here, actually. Look at this tier list, guys. This is ridiculous. This guy that we're making this tier list for used to be the pound-for-pound #1 fighter in the whole entire world. In the whole UFC. Conor McGregor used to be ranked pound-for-pound where Islam Makhachev is, where Kamaru Usman is. That's where he used to be ranked. And then when he got bumped down, he was ranked where Charles is. Now I'm saying that Jeremy Stevens at 57 years old in the BKFC journeyman would be a close fight. This is sad, man. So yeah, this is basically the roadkill. They'd leave him like roadkill category. This category is, you know, maybe minced meat, ground beef. Why am I making meat jokes, dude? Ugh, dog. Relax, huh? I think these would be entertaining right here. This would be back and forth, close. You know, I could see him leaving. He would leave these fights with no damage right here. I think he would leave these with little to no damage. Now, here are the fights that I think he could actually win. Are you guys ready? Just kidding. Okay, here's the first person that I think he could beat today. I'm going to put him in A tier. I think Tony Ferguson, they missed the chance, man. Tony Ferguson versus Conor McGregor for a comeback fight would have been perfect because Tony was on a 7-fight losing streak, but he's an all-time great lightweight, and so is Conor McGregor. It would have been the perfect fight to make. Better than Michael Chandler, better than Nate Diaz. They'd never fought each other before. He's trash. Both of y'all are trash. Welcome. Let's shake hands. Let's sign the contract. This will be the biggest fight ever. Conor could get his win and then go sail off in the sunset. But no, instead now he's just dragging us along, you know. So next, person that he could beat today. And this is our first S tier. You ready? If CM Punk comes out of retirement, man, I think Conor McGregor could beat him. CM Punk comes out of retirement, I think Conor McGregor does him dirty. I think Conor McGregor, he starts looking like Mauricio Rufy in there. It would be like a mugging in broad daylight. He'd cook CM Punk. Kind of like a white belt in a trial class going against like a blue belt, purple belt. Yeah, that would be this. Let's go to the next person. And I think this would work, man. Floyd Mayweather in MMA. I know. Floyd Mayweather in MMA in 2025, Conor McGregor eats him alive. And this is a fight that could be made. It'll never, ever, 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 ever get made. But it could be made. It could be made. And our other S tier is someone that Conor has talked about fighting, Manny Pacquiao. Now, Manny Pacquiao is 94 years old. But he competed maybe a year or two ago. So he's still in relatively good shape. I think Manny Pacquiao in MMA against Conor McGregor, I think that's winnable for Conor McGregor, guys. I think that's winnable. Thank you guys for watching this video. I think this tier list is perfect.
Down to the last minute details.
This is probably the most accurate tier list I've ever made in my 8-month, 10-month long YouTube career. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, like it. If you want to subscribe. I will see you guys later.